Welcome to r/entitled people, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them and they should get what they want. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so hit the like button and let's begin. The first story: the titular Karen molests other clients, embarrasses her daughter, resists arrest, and is led out in handcuffs to the applause of the other clients. The second story: went to the bank to make a deposit, was accused of robbing the bank by a teller who hadn't even done a prelim search to see where he'd put it. The third story: the whole team is going to quit. It'll be a blow to the CEO. The first story is EM interrupts lunch and gets arrested. Cast: me, obviously. EM, entitled mom, of course. ED, embarrassed daughter. CD, cool dad, manager of the restaurant. And tech dude TD, former coworker turned good friend, semi-retired. Think the dude from The Big Lebowski. Add a master's in computers and electronics, a bit of mad scientist, shake thoroughly, and you pretty much have tech dude. Background: I'm a field guy for a large communications company. One of the services we provide is wireless calling. I am not customer facing, just one of many individuals who make it all work. I had happened to take the day off, though I did have my work phone on me just in case. I also foolishly grabbed a zip-up hoodie with the company logo on the sleeve. On my way out the door, tech dude calls me up asking me to grab lunch with him sometime when I'm in the area. As I was actually around the corner from his summer abode, I mentioned the restaurant down the way on the water because they have outdoor seating. I get to the restaurant. TD's already seated sipping on a Shirley Temple, clear lemon lime pop, grenadine, and a maraschino cherry to top it off, with another one set aside for me. Yes, we both enjoy these drinks. Maybe it's just the kids in us, but we're both driving, so no alcohol. I don't pay much attention to the other patrons, just head straight to the table, signaling the waitress I know where I'm going. After our greeting, a big, "Hey, cur dude, how you been?" and ordering of the daily special, an appetizer is delivered. TD gets down to his latest personal project, asking my thoughts along the way. My work phone interrupts. I answer with company name just in case it's a test call, before directing the caller to a coworker who would be able to help them that day. After hanging up the phone, I hear a Fran Drescher-esque voice somewhere behind me. "Sir, excuse me, sir, sir," and suddenly feel a presence of a person behind my right shoulder. I turn and have to look upward to see a large Karen of about mid-40s, complete with a haircut that could only be described as, makes my hair look like the body of a chicken, complete with backside, no feet, neck, or head, standing about 8 inches off the back of my chair. I think to myself, holy heck, woman, have you ever heard of COVID? Even though I'm fully vaccinated, I still don't want her looming over me in my personal space. Me: yes? EM: did you say you worked for the phones? Pointing at the sleeve of my hoodie. Me: yes, I do. Today is my day off, but I might be able to... EM: you need to help me right now. My lunch is being utterly ruined by my daughter's ex-boyfriend, and dramatically points to daughter, who's trying to hide her face with a menu. There's no one else at the table. ED: mom, please. EM: no, I'm going to get this stopped once and for all. It's harassment. ED: mom, please, let those two eat. I can handle it. EM: no, these two work for the phones and I'm going to make them stop this immediately. TD: hey, I don't work for the phones or you, lady. EM: of course they wouldn't hire anyone like you. Ew. TD shoots me an F her look. Me: I'm not able to help you. I'm not in customer... EM: I demand you block him from harassing us now. Me: ma'am, I'm sorry you were experiencing this, but you need to call... EM: no, I won't call anyone. You can do it. I need you to stop him now. Me: even if I was working, I would not be able to stop him from calling her. I simply... EM: don't tell me you can't and he's non-stop texting, not calling. Me seeing that my current approach isn't working. I'm sorry that he's doing that. You should advise your daughter to block his number from her phone. It would be the easiest way to stop his communications. EM: he keeps changing numbers. You need to... Poking me in the chest as she said you. Both TD and I stand up. I see the manager rushing towards us out of the corner of my eye. EM immediately switches gears. Oh, I see. Take his side. I'm a long, loyal customer. I'm going to call your boss and get you fired. As if spelling out fired in a sing-song tone would change my answers. Manager: ma'am, you need to return to your table and leave the other customers alone. EM: oh, so he won't do his job and I'm the one who needs to leave him alone. Don't you know who I am? I'll have your job. TD manager and I all share a I have no flying clue who she is look. ED has the menu over her head face down on the table. I truly feel sorry for ED. Manager, ma'am, you need to sit down and leave my customers alone, or you can leave. EM, I will not sit down. I can't enjoy my lunch because he, points at me, won't do his job. Again doing that sing-song spelling bit. Manager looks at me with a is there anything you want to say look. Me, I'm sorry ma'am, I simply do not have access to accounts. And EM tries to interrupt. And even if I did, there are very specific rules for making account changes. EM tries to interrupt again, but I keep going. I can't just block someone because you interrupt my lunch. EM tries again. Furthermore, if he keeps changing numbers to avoid blocks, that, as she tries to interrupt again, that is harassment, a legal matter. I would suggest getting a no contact order and recording any time he does attempt contact her. ED quickly walks off towards the front trying to cover her face with her hands. What I can see of her face is ketchup bottle red. EM starts again, and this time I let her go. EM, bulls, that's just bulls, 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 bulls. You just don't want to do your job. I know you can block him. Manager signals something to one of her waitstaff. Ma'am, this is your last warning. These two have been more than kind to you since you interrupted their lunch. I will call the police if you do not sit down or leave immediately. EM, fine, but I'm calling all of your bosses. You're all going to be fired. Then sing-song again. You don't know who you're messing with. I mean, really, my kids stopped that when they were 5. We all sit down. ED's still missing, and I've repositioned in order to be sure EM cannot sneak up on me again. Manager apologizes and offers to move us inside, while she checks on the rest of our order, but we decline moving. I notice that all the waitstaff is staying off the deck. Only the manager is coming out now to help with other customers, avoiding EM. EM obviously notices this too, and is getting more visibly unsettled trying to bring other customers into siding with her. TD sees me watching the situation, and offers a hey F that witch. He almost never swears, so I know he might as well be saying she should see you next Tuesday. I signal the manager over, and quietly request that she send someone to check on ED. I was truly concerned about her mental state. The manager informs me that she's sent someone, and is currently making sure all of her needs are being taken care of. Then she smiles and says she'll be right back. As the manager returns with our plates, the bartender with 2 uniformed officers in tow walk onto the deck. The manager nods and all 4 approach EM. From what I can hear of the conversation, the manager was the daughter of the owners and they were going to permanently bar EM from the premises. The bartender comically takes a picture of EM. Then the police inform EM that ED will not be leaving the restaurant with EM. CD would be picking ED up. This sends EM into orbit. EM tosses out a few "you can't do this, it's their faults, don't you know who I am's, she's my daughter," among other not-so-kind sayings. Flinging her arms, pointing at us, and getting louder and louder. Finally, there's a brief scuffle. She ends up in cuffs and gets led out of the restaurant, complete with cheers from most everyone else on the deck. ED returns to collect what's left at the table. She approaches us apologizing for her mom's behavior, says she heard that I was concerned about her, and thanks me for my kindness, and says that CD wants to pay for our lunches. We decline, but CD did it anyway. Some parents think that if they're someone's parents, then they can do whatever they want. This is far from the case. I would say that ED has been mentally abused by EM, but we've only gotten a fraction of what EM is, so we can't say 100%. Anyway, I hope EM never sees ED again, except in passing. Great job for your peace of mind, and taking the extra step to make sure the young lady ED is okay too. I've found that the best weapon against those who say, "Don't you know who I am?" is, "Should I?" It confuses them every time. Unfortunately, I've run into about 10 people who have tried to apply that phrase to me. It never happens the way they think it does, and I really have no idea which is which. And I've read about even more here, and almost every time they were essentially nobodies, just pathetic liars. The second story is, made a deposit, got accused of bank robbery. To set the scene, this took place a couple years ago when I was living at home for a summer internship in a major city. We live in a pretty nice area along a main road, which has your typical suburban amenities. Pharmacy, grocery store, library, banks, etc. On this particular day, I figure I'll run to the bank quickly to make a deposit, and then continue on with my other chores. There are 2 bank branches close to me. I usually head to the branch down by the affluent waterfront area, since it's nice and usually empty, but it takes about 15 minutes. There's a closer one that's in a slightly rundown area between my home and the waterfront. I've had a couple poor customer service experiences there before, but figure I'll shave off around 10 minutes. Boy oh boy, I was wrong. I head into the bank and do the typical retail banking deal. Wait in line, get to the counter, push my debit card and deposit form. Thank God for mobile banking now. Under the 1-inch plexiglass window and talk to the teller through the poorly orchestrated speaker system. Even if I wanted to, there's no way I could have reached anything on the teller's side of the wall. Since it's a rundown area, there's also security guards at the ATM area who I passed on the way out. I head to the library and as I'm parking, see a call coming through. Don't answer since I don't recognize the number. I knew something was up when the voicemail notification came through. Turns out it's the bank teller who looked up my profile information, stating he's instigated a police investigation, as I've stolen $2,300 from him. He's yelling to come back to the branch immediately so they can search me. At this point, I wasn't jaded from living in the city and dealing with boneheads on a regular basis. I'm working for a certain 3-letter agency, which required a background check, and I'm probably about the most honest and usually friendly person a customer service rep could hope to encounter on a given day. I call the number back and attempt to reason with him about how this must be a mistake. He's irate, screaming about how I need to drive back immediately with every penny of the money, and how the police are on the way to arrest me. Looking back, none of this checks out, and I should have immediately escalated to a branch manager and asked them to review their videotapes. Lucky for this a-hole, I was kind enough to drive the 5 or so minutes back, super stressed that I might be on the hook for something I clearly didn't do. Keep in mind this has all taken about 10 minutes at this point. I pull up and hop out of my car, noting that there's no police presence at the bank. I walk in and make a beeline for this teller. Somehow, in the 5 minutes since our call, he's cooled off and looks calm as a cucumber. I'm freaking the F out and start in on him like, hey, this must be a mistake. I've come all the way back. Here's my receipt from the transaction, etc. The a-hole has the audacity to look me in the eye and shrugs. Oh, I found the money. My coworker moved it under a piece of paper while I was doing your deposit. Turns out instead of using any rationale or logic, he just assumed I'd stolen the money and called me up with threats, before even doing a prelim search. He didn't even bother to apologize for accusing me of robbing the place, threatening me, or for making me drive back. I was so shaken and upset I just retreated back to my car. I can only hope he's done something similarly idiotic again and lost his job, or gotten a firm reprimand. Last time I visited the nicer branch, I commiserated with the branch manager about how SH the tellers are at the other branch. Not super professional of that guy either, but at least he's not accusing me of felonies. I can't believe the OP let this a-hole get away with it. The OP should go back there and file a formal complaint against this inattentive idiot. I know that such a complaint will go straight to the regional office, and the employee will be fired. Like, what the hell? The cameras are the first thing they should have done. And how the hell could the OP have stolen them if the OP couldn't even reach the desk? And let's look at it this way. Imagine that the OP is really a criminal. His action is completely unprofessional. Employees should not inform someone that we think he's done something illegal. This provides an opportunity to warn a possible offender to start destroying evidence. I know how panicked people get when the box doesn't work, but D. And the last story is, we're all quitting. Although my manager is lovely, the CEO is a narcissist micromanager with no kind words to say. He barely survived COVID, and since we're a startup, the 4 of us worked our A's off for 2 months. All we've heard the last 3 weeks he's been back is everything we've done wrong, and what we have to do better. We're all leaving end of November. Investors will be furious. End of quarter will completely fail. $8 million in sales pipeline left untouched. It feels so good to know he has no idea. Edit. I highly doubt we'll last 3 more weeks. Ouch. See what happens when you treat employees like crap? They organize an exit. I hope the manager gets involved too. Oh, I want to see that moment when he realizes he's losing everything. I can already picture the red face of this CEO that just yells without meaning, and the employees leave this awful place with their things and a smile on their face. I hope you love these stories. Subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications.